Hey, good morning everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Friday, July 6th, 2018. Happy Friday everyone. I'm Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss, and here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. The market has dropped quite a bit since the FOMC key level was developed up there on June 13th. You can see here, right in that zone, that is where the FOMC date was. Price was right at 27.91.75 on that date, and so far been offered. Never really has come back to that zone at all, and we've recently gotten this rejection here and this little box here where we could see a push higher, and that's what we mentioned before. If they can keep this area bid, there's a shot that bulls get a nice continuation, a nice rejection tail with a midpoint hold, and you can see how this thing could go higher. However, this level right here, and that's basically the level being defended right now, has been defended by bears time and time again. Countless rotations here, and there are now more buy stops above that zone. So again, if price starts to pop above those recent highs, it could run the upside stop. So we're talking 27.50, and above there would open it back up back toward 27.91.75. So it'd be a quick 40 plus point move back to that level. Now keep in mind, if 27.50 remains intact here, all these bears will likely start to get paid here, and that could open up the downside at least into 26.50 and perhaps as low as 2600 at recent support. So this next move that is building right now could be significant whichever way it goes. If it's to the upside, it may have limited upside back toward recent highs, and if it's to the downside, we could go quite a bit of a distance to the downside, given that we'd likely be giving back all of the recent gains here back toward 2600. So again, very important zone right here where we are. At the moment, a failed new high is showing early signs of weakness at the very least, and 2740 could be an entry zone here for bears looking to get short. Alright, taking a look at the NQ, very similar price action. So I've already explained the ES quite a bit. The NQ looks very similar in its structure here. 71.50 is the level. That's the level that was bid, then offered, and then continues to be offered now. Buy stops above. Bears looking to defend this zone for a shot lower, and if so, that could push price quite a bit down also. We're talking at least back towards 66.86.5. That would be the FOMC key level from May 2nd, and then the 66.53 would be the midpoint and the launch point from the recent breakout and run. So again, 71.50 here, that's the deciding factor for perhaps going back to this zone, or perhaps seeing an upside push and continuation. This market remains within a very nice structured channel here, so again, above this 7200 could easily open it right back up and push this thing to about 74 to even 7500. So right now the 7150 is very important. Continue to watch that pivot here in the NQ. Taking a look at crude oil now. You can see crude oil here has been holding at these highs, not really pushing beyond the 73s too much here. 73 held above that zone. We had a little bit of a rejection here at this upper end. A little bit of weakness here yesterday as well. And so right now, or the previous day, we're just kind of holding in this zone. So if there's any failure to hold 73, that could open up a little bit more weakness back down. How far down? You know, this market's been very bullish, but it has had the tendency to go down when it wants to. So again, this is a lot of energy. If you look at the intraday chart or the 4-hour chart, you can really see the rounded top here that's developing. 72 is a big level that if that's broken, we could be looking at least a move back towards 67, 47 to 68. That could be an easy downside target here. But again, this market has been so bullish that should it hit an LVN, it may see some buying pressure right off the bat. So keep an eye on this one. Building energy, 72 is the big level, and eventually we're going to get a breakout from this multi-day pattern that could be significant. Alright, taking a look now at the YM. Here's a look at the YM. Again, very similar pattern to the ES and the NQ, only this one has formed much lower within its price structure. So you can see here, this is when price formed that FOMC key level, 25.327. We've gone offered and never really come back to it. Right here, being offered all inside the PIMA trigger zone, a little bit of a rounded bottom at the bottom end of this range. Again, if you look at a 60-minute chart or a 4-hour chart, you can kind of see that rounded bottom here playing out, and that's building energy. So right here, this is an energy building phase, and again, we could be looking at a move back up that could take us back toward 25K and 24,886, or this could be the continuation pattern that brings us into recent support and finishes the move that we talked about to begin with back toward 23,400. Mentioned before that if price gets up here into 28 and we fail, that could bring us back down, and it could bring us all the way back to recent lows at the far end of this move. And so far, this one has been the leader to the downside, is now building energy, and we could see a continuation toward that target or a return back up toward these other targets. So again, building the energy right now, 24,450 upside zone, 24K on the downside is the real area to watch. But again, we could see an early breakout. So again, watch this range as it continues to develop. Last one we'll look at here is Bitcoin. You'll notice Bitcoin is right inside the trigger zone of a bearish trending market. So we have this bearish trending market. Every time it gets into the trigger zone, it's been offered. Right now, we've been sitting inside the trigger zone for about 4 days. And so we've built some energy again in this zone. A little bit of a head and shoulder type of short-term pattern. 7K has an LVN, and this is the type of pattern here that could break and return price to value if it can get above 7K. We've talked about that before. We noted that 6,700 to 7,000 is the zone, and 7K is ultimately the door that opens up 84.42, which is value up above. But again, given the downtrending behavior here, any failure to do that rotates this another leg down, and that could be significant because again, we're sitting down here near long-term support, and any failure to hold that long-term support could really open it up to the downside. Typically speaking, I'd be in favor of this thing bouncing back toward value. That's just kind of the general structure of this market, and given the fact that we've been holding at these lows for quite a while now but not continuing lower, tells me that there could be a shot to pop back to value. So keep an eye on 7K in XBT. Alright, that is it for now. Thanks a lot for watching here today. Again, happy Friday. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see the rest of you in the trading room later on today. Take care, folks.